Hi everybody, welcome to Dandelion Cottage and Watercolor Wednesday. As you can see, the garden is being very active. The lilacs have started to bloom. I have the last of the crabapple over here. This is the prairie fire. All of the other crab apples and the apple trees in the orchard have gone by now. And I have some of these beautiful, delicate narcissus. And today I'm excited that I think this is a prairie rose. I think that's what they call it. It's got a kind of teensy little leaf, kind of a microfolia, but I believe that it's commonly called a prairie rose. And if somebody knows better, let me know. I'll give you a close-up of that so you can get a good look at it. Come on. Here we go. All right, so there are those beautiful roses. Okay, so I thought it would be make a nice little bouquet to paint for a note card. So that's what we're going to do today. I've gone ahead and I've prepared a few things. So for this card, I was thinking about using this sentiment, thinking of you, and this is a new stamp set from the new catalog that I'm very excited about because it coordinates with the bow punch that we've had for a while, and we never had a stamp to coordinate with this leaf and these little buds, and now we do. I'm not going to be using the punch today, but I'm excited to have this. I'm using two classic die sets, so I'm using the Stylish Shapes. And I love the Stylish Shapes because this is the one that creates a beautiful, delicate border on both the shape and the aperture. So you get two for the price of one here. So I'm going to be using the window card as my card base today. And this I can save for something else. And it's really cute. I've also used the deckled rectangle dies, and I've used those to cut out my paper that I'm going to be painting on. So let me check my settings, make sure that everybody can see and hear all right. That looks like it's working. I see Beverly. Good afternoon, Beverly. Beautiful flowers. Yes, they are. I'm getting so excited about having a long season of flower painting. So for this picture, I'm just going to paint a really quick sketch. Keep it very simple. And to do that, I'm just using 3 colors. Okay, so I've got yellow, red, and blue. That's it. And I've got my medium water painter. Zoom you out a tiny bit so you can see a little more. There we go. And I'm just going to do a very quick and easy, loose little interpretation of these gorgeous flowers, and particularly the colors, because I think the colors are just so exquisite. I'm going to spritz my paper just to get a little bit of moisture on it, but not so much that it's saturated. And I'm going to begin by just floating some color So this is just the red right now, and then I'm going to take my yellow and I'm just diluting that so it's very, very light. Just let that all kind of blend together. There we go. I'm going to put a little more spritz on here. Okay. Now we've got some little bit of green, not too much, but a little bit that I can just sort of drop in there. And now, see if I can get some of that, the shapes of some of these lilacs. And this is going to be fairly abstract. I'm not being overly concerned with the drawing. I just want to, it's really about the color and letting the paint move on the across the page. Sometimes it's just nice to let the watercolor just move of its own accord. Let it do what it wants to do. And I do want to pay a little bit of attention to my roses. And the narcissus. Now the narcissus have a little bit of a yellow tone to them, but the outer petals are just a very, very pale, kind of a creamy white, so I'm not going to get too involved with those. And then the leaves from these crab apples have a lot of red in them. This particular cultivar of crab apple is called Prairie Fire, and it has gorgeous, gorgeous red color in the spring, and it makes a wonderful statement. So I'm going to add a little bit of red to my green for these leaves, just to sort of pick up that color. And it's got a little bit wetter than I wanted it to. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mute the sound for a minute while I use my heat tool to dry this so that it speeds it up a little bit. So I'm just going to put the, do I have a button that says silent? I thought I had a button that said, well, okay, well I'm just going to be quiet for a minute. There we go. I see Candy has joined us. Hi, Candy. Nice to see you. And Teresa. Teresa says, I wish we could see the flowers while you're painting. Well, you know, Teresa, in the watercolor classes, you can see the flowers while I'm painting, but in these very quick little live videos, I don't have time to set everything up like that. So, so for those of you who are interested in a more thorough explanation and to see the whole setup and all the things all the concepts that I'm applying to the painting, please look for the Watercolor Card Club on my website at dandelioncottagedesign.com, and be sure to subscribe to Notes from Dandelion Cottage Design so that you can be on the announcement list to hear about all of the upcoming watercolor classes and workshops. Okay, so I'm just going to do a little bit of drawing, not a lot, just enough to give the impression of some flowers here and these beautiful lilacs. So the lilac blossoms, the individual flowers, have 4 petals in a kind of a little cross shape, so I can start to indicate a little bit of that here and there. I saw my first hummingbird, and actually there's been quite a lot going on here. Yesterday we had an enormous bear checking out the chicken coop and going over to the pond and pulling up some cattails. So that was pretty exciting. He was absolutely gorgeous, the most beautiful shiny coat of fur you ever saw. And I do have a photo that Rachel took that I will post on the up on the Facebook page later. And then last night there was a deer, and about a week or 2 ago there was a porcupine. So everything's starting to really wake up around here and show signs of lots of activity, and of course the gardens are just bursting right now. And tomorrow they're coming to mow the lawn, and so that's going to be the kind of official opening of the summer season. Now I want my main focal point to be in this area here, so I'm going to spend just a little more time working on some of these things. So delicate. back into those gorgeous roses. There's Cello. He came back in. He's been out in the coop for the past several days, but we have a freeze coming up tonight. It's going to go down below freezing, and I didn't want him to suffer because he's sort of by himself because of his seizures. He's my special needs chicken right now, so he's spending a lot of time indoors, which he kind of likes. He's gotten accustomed to being spoiled. Just one of the many spoiled animals that live at Dandelion Cottage. Alright, I'm just going to put a little bit of detail on these leaves. It's a little too dark. Want to vary those greens so they have a little life to them. Okay, so I think that's about as far as I'm going to go with this for the moment. I'm going to put this aside so I can get some stamping done for the sentiment. So here's my card, and let's find that stamp. So, yeah, I think thinking of you would be nice. It's actually larger. These stamps are a little bit larger than they're shown on the cover of the case. And if you look in the lower right corner, it will tell you. So these are at 85%. Oh, you can't see that, can you? Let me zoom you out a little bit. So if you look in the lower right-hand corner of the case, it'll tell you what percentage the stamps are reduced. And of course, if it doesn't say anything, it just means that they're 100%. All right, and get this mounted. I think I need a little bit bigger block. There we go. And for ink, I'm looking for a nice green. I think Old Olive might be good. Get that out. I'm just going to test this on a scrap paper first, see how it looks. Oh, very nice. And let's put this on the front. This is a really quick and easy way to make a very pretty hand-painted card without a lot of extras, just keeping it kind of simple. I'm going to use my multi-purpose liquid glue. Just kind of dot that around. In there. I'm going to use my bone folder, give that a nice burnish. There we go. And then there's the card. So quick and easy, just a pretty little celebration of spring to share with somebody. Maybe somebody who doesn't have access to getting out of doors and you just want to kind of brighten up their day. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope I gave you some ideas, and I would love to see what you do. Let me see if I can get these flowers in here so you can see them. There you go. If you decide to do a little card like this, please share it with us on Dandelion Paper Pals so we can all see it. And I will be back on Saturday. So until then, stay well, stay happy, stay creative, and I'll see you next time.